Have you ever wondered if you were stuck with constipation? Do you ever worry that your constipation is causing irreversible damage in your body? Is constipation a heavy weight on your shoulders as you wonder why you have it and if you're in danger of something worse happening? On today's episode, I'm going to be talking with you 4 constipation danger signs. And when I say danger sign, I don't mean imminent death or irreversible damage. Instead, I want to talk about signs that you need a different way to heal your constipation because it can be reversed. I have worked with clients of all types of diagnoses who've been told by doctors that they can't get rid of their constipation due to a megacolon, or they've been told that everything looks normal in their labs and they don't know why they're constipated. But after 3 years of working with over 100 men and women with constipation, I can confidently say that while you may be stuck now, you are not stuck forever. So let's jump into today's episode and learn 4 constipation danger signs and exactly what you can do about it. Hey friend, welcome to the Better Belly Podcast. Do you want freedom from bloating and constipation? Do you find yourself up late at night Googling natural constipation remedies, causes for bloating, or recipes and exercises to help constipation? Are you frustrated with the mind game of trying to figure out what foods are helping or hurting your gut? Hey, I'm Allison, mom, wife, and functional gut health practitioner. At a young age, bloating and constipation were my constants. I didn't know what to do and wished I could just live a normal life focusing on my passions, my job, and my family. I was tired of abdominal pain that woke me up at night and wasting time and money on gut health remedies that just didn't work. Breakthrough moment, the functional medicine and osteopathic approach to gut health. In this podcast, you will find natural remedies for bloating and constipation, practical, doable belly exercises and massages, and debunk the myths about what really is causing your tummy problems. So toss out those laxatives and say goodbye to that embarrassing gas. Your gut health is calling. And just as a reminder, this information is not meant to diagnose, manage, or treat disease. Always consult with your own health practitioner before you make any changes to your health. The thing that inspired today's episode topic is definitely not a desire to promote panic. I know that a lot of times when there are ongoing health problems, that can be an underlying anxiety that people can have. So I definitely want to just say, let's leave anxiety at the door. But I did want to actually address this question because I have seen it commonly on the internet, just this kind of general sense and general concern people have of like, well, when should I be really, really concerned? And I just wanted to give my 2 cents into this. And I will just give you a hint before we even get into these 4 danger signs, that these danger signs are not about, like I already shared in the beginning intro of this podcast, like irreversible damage or like imminent death. They are more signs that you need a different way to address your constipation because what you are currently trying is not working. And it's just a sign that it's not what your body actually needs. So these 4 signs are more about me wanting to give you freedom and permission to go and seek out new and different ways to actually heal your constipation. And I want to share with you after these 4 different danger signs, what you can actually do and what are those different ways that will actually get you the solution you were looking for in your constipation. So the first danger sign that I commonly see in clients who are coming to work with me, for the first danger sign for constipation is that your constipation is not improved by fiber or water. Now, this is a danger sign because fiber and water is one of the most common recommendations out there for, hey, you have constipation, drink Metamucil, increase your fiber, drink prune juice, eat lots of fruits and veggies with high fiber, drink more water, drink lots of water, drink even more water. Sometimes you'll even see out there like drink some water with electrolytes, which is definitely not a bad idea, but usually the amount of electrolytes is not like actually that impactful. All that being said, this is a danger sign just because it is such a, it's on repeat so much. And if fiber and water are not working for you, you're not broken. The only danger sign here is that you are not getting new input and that you're living on repeat and just trying more fiber and more water and more fiber and more water. Interestingly enough, some of the actual causes of constipation can actually be worsened with something like fiber for example. So if you have SIBO, if you have candida, if you have slow motility, which is very common in people with constipation, fiber will actually cause an overgrowth of bacteria in the gut and can actually create a lot more bloating and discomfort and pathogenic activity, and then inflammation and leaky gut, etc. So interestingly enough, it can actually make people feel worse. If you've ever felt worse on fiber, here is your confirmation that you are not crazy and you don't have to keep taking it. So freedom step number 1, you can stop the crazy fiber intake. Water is still important, but you want to do it under correct circumstances. So if you're drinking water so much that you're having to pee once or twice at night, that should not be happening. And it's a big sign that you're actually not hydrating your cells, but the water is just passing right through you. I will get to that solution at the end. So let's get to number 2. The second danger sign of constipation is your constipation is not improved by probiotics or fermented food. So this is another kind of classic generic recommendations for bloating and constipation is take probiotics or take a different probiotic strain. Everyone's in this big battle over like who has this probiotic strain is better. And like, sure, there's some interesting science out there on different probiotic strains and bacterial strains that we're always learning more new things about. But ultimately, you are not constipated. I've never seen a client if you're struggling with chronic constipation, maybe your friend who gets occasional constipation feels better when she takes a probiotic, great. But if you are not improving with a probiotic strain, even after you've tried like 5 and 10, there's not one magic probiotic strain out there that's going to fix you. It's actually more about diving into what's really going on, which like I said, I'm going to get to after we just jump through all 4 of these things because they're all going to be related to the actual solution. So again, I want to give you freedom. The danger sign is just clinging to this too much. If you cling to, I'm just going to ferment my own kombucha at home, ferment my own yogurt. I'm just going to buy the most expensive fermented sauerkraut and kimchi and whatever it is out there to try and re-inoculate my gut. It might actually not be what you need. And again, you actually might feel worse. It's for a similar reason as fiber. If you have imbalance of your bacteria in your gut, that dysbiosis, and then you throw in more bacteria, pre and probiotics, then you can actually be making a situation much, much worse. It's like taking a war zone and adding civilians to it. It does not improve the situation. So that's number 2. Your constipation is not improved by probiotics or fermented food. Big danger sign. Do let go of those 2 things. Do start looking for a new solution. Number 3, your colonoscopy and endoscopy came up quote unquote normal. So this is also similar. Throw this in with like your doctors say your labs look normal. So if you get some blood work or whatever it is they're looking at, they're like, oh, it looks normal. Maybe they'll say like, your iron was a little low, your vitamin D was a little low, but like low iron and low vitamin D is not why people get constipated. So now they can actually be related to why, like constipation can be why you are constipated, that is, could be related to why you have low iron and low vitamin D, but it is not the actual cause of constipation. So if you don't feel good, like you are constipated, you have IBS, you either have a diagnosis or you just know that you have brain fog and you've got acne and you're really sluggish and you don't feel good when you eat food, maybe you feel more tired after eating food, and then your labs or your colonoscopy come up normal, this is a danger sign. Danger sign is do not rely on just those results. It is possible. The colonoscopy side of things is very much usually looking for more of the big red flag, scary things. It could be everything from like Crohn's and ulcerative colitis, which are autoimmune disorders, to cancer, to like kind of more random stuff like polyps. Those are things that doctors can deal with surgically, or they can start to give you some heavy duty medications for, but unless they come up kind of the big scaries, they pretty much have nothing for you. So if it comes up normal, it doesn't mean you don't have a problem. And it doesn't mean that there is no solution. It just means that those medical doctors don't have the solution for you. So you can just know, yay, there's nothing like crazy bad going on if that colonoscopy came up pretty boring. But it also doesn't mean that there's nothing you can do. And number 4, another danger side for constipation is that magnesium isn't helping you poop, or in a similar realm, you can only poop if you take magnesium or say something like coffee every day. Now, if magnesium does help you poop every day or even coffee, it's like, okay, like we're kind of happy that you at least can know a way that can help you poop. But if you still need it every day, otherwise you don't poop, there's definitely your body's saying something inherently inside of it is not balanced because you're having to constantly stimulate it with an external input to have it poop. In a very healthy world, your body's going to poop when it gets kind of the basic input of sleep and water and food and digestive enzymes, which are all going to be happening on their own in a healthy, balanced body. But if magnesium isn't helping you poop or you're relying on it religiously to poop, then it's a sign, again, of something deeper going on. You can let go of like feeling like magnesium is the only thing that can help you poop. It is magnesium, I find in general, is great for situations when pooping is tough for a short season. This might be like you're traveling. Traveling can just make it hard to poop for lots of people. You're pregnant, but we want to make sure that outside of traveling and outside of pregnancy, those being two very common reasons that you might get constipated for a short period of time, that you are pooping on your own regularly. If magnesium isn't working for you, you want to look deeper into what other things are causing you to not poop. So if you listen to these 4 things and one or multiple of these are true for you, you can be alarmed, but you don't need to be panicked. Instead, I want to invite you to just change what you're doing. Like I said, here's your permission. You don't have to keep doing those same things that aren't working. You don't have to go back to a low FODMAP diet or a gluten-free diet. You don't have to go back to that doctor that didn't help. You don't have to try a new strain of probiotic or fermented food. There is a better way. And the better way is simple. It is to get better data. That is the real solution. That is what I teach you how to do in my online course, The Better Belly Blueprint, where I get you access to 4 powerful functional lab tests. These functional lab tests are not something that conventional medical doctors run. So you're never going to need to worry that you have already run any of these tests before. We have a hair sample test, which looks at minerals and heavy metals in your body. We have a urine sample test that looks at your hormones and your adrenal glands. We have a poop test, which looks at your bacterial strains, parasites, H. pylori, gluten sensitivity, digestive enzymes, and more. And the last of the 4 functional tests is a blood spot test. You just prick your finger, put some blood on a piece of paper, send it back into the lab, and it looks at food sensitivities. It is the most in-depth. It goes the deepest and broadest of any food sensitivity test I've ever come across. If you've ever done anything like Viome or food sensitivity testing with a doctor, this still goes deeper. So you don't have to worry about you've already done any of these things before. Now, if you join our course and you come in and you already know you just really don't want to run one of those labs, or you can't run them all at the same time, you can run them at different points because you have access to ordering those labs through us on your own for free for the first 3 months in the program. If you are tired of hearing about functional lab tests to run and not knowing who to run it through or how to find a doctor to run it for you, you don't need a doctor to do this lab. You can come in and do it through us, through the Better Belly therapies and our program, the Better Belly Blueprint. So once you get that real data, I then also teach you how to interpret the data, and I give you the exact protocols that you will need to solve what it was actually found on those labs. It'll be everything from food sensitivities to pathogens to heavy metals, mineral imbalances, nutrient deficiencies. There's so many juicy things that you're going to learn about in your body, and it's not going to be the exact same to anybody else in the class. So everything you do is going to be tailored to specifically what your body needs, and that's how you get results. You don't have to follow any more generic advice, and you don't have to guess about what's going to work because you're going to see in paper right in front of you what to do. Now, for those of you who really think that nothing's going to be possibly found in the lab tests, I also have this amazing offer that if you run our 4 key foundational functional labs and you find nothing to do on those labs, I will give you a full refund for the course, the Better Belly Blueprint. We cannot refund the labs for you because those fees are paid to the labs, but we will totally refund 100% of the cost of the course to you. All you have to do is share with us those 4 labs that you ran and their results, and we will look at them, verify that nothing was really found on them, and we will give you your full refund. You will at least know that you tried something new and different, you looked in a certain direction, and you can now move forward looking for new solutions and even sharing with future practitioners those lab results and saying, this is what I did, this is what I found, what other things can I try? There's really no way to lose. So if you are ready to learn how to end your bloating and constipation, go to betterbellytherapies.com/blueprint and join today. So I hope this podcast episode was helpful for you as you learned 4 danger signs and you received permission to let go of these things that might not be working for you. I also hope that you feel hope and insight on what you can do instead to get deeper into things that will actually heal you from your bloating and constipation. So if you are wanting to go deeper into this and you're just not ready to jump into the Better Belly Blueprint, I also just want to invite you, subscribe to the podcast and go check out all the other episodes we've had behind this. I really dive deep into a lot of these topics into other podcast episodes. I talk about other things that I didn't even graze on this podcast episode that are all in the Better Belly Blueprint. So if you just want to get even just a little bit of insight into what might be in that course, I do want to encourage you and invite you, check out some of our other episodes. I would love to share more about constipation with you in those. Hey friend, I hope you loved this episode. If you've been a fan for a while or newly loving this podcast, can you do me a favor? Drop into Apple Podcasts and leave me a review. When you leave a review, you do so much. You help me know you're listening, you can tell me what you're loving so I know what to make more of, and you help others by boosting this podcast so other people like you can find the podcast too. I mean, it's a win-win-win, right? So if you want a way to pay it forward, just go to Apple Podcasts or click the link in my show notes and leave a rating and review. And if you want some more free stuff, just head over to my free Facebook group, betterbellytherapies.com/Facebook, and you can get access to all of my free support for you, including some Facebook group exclusive stuff like my podcast episode vault, where you can search the Better Belly podcast by topic and find exactly what you need to expedite your healing. I cannot wait to see you in there. Catch you guys next week.